So, as a researcher, I have an interest in political topologies and a particular dislike towards three topologies in governments, which are those hierarchical, centralized, closed, and top down controlled organizational structures that we see that governments tend to have. In a working title, Self-Organized Social-Political Interactions as the Best Way to Achieve Organized Patterns in Human Social Systems, going beyond the top-down control of classical political regimes, yeah, a very long name, I know, I argued in favor of the self-organization of human societies, emphasizing the fact that being human social systems, complex systems, and regardless of their non-linearity, diversity, complexity, etc., it is possible to find ways to guide their self-organization as long as we understand their information processing dynamics, their interactiveness, etc. And as we've seen in many other examples of complex societies, top-down control is not an optimal producer of order. And I don't know how many more times I'll have to say it, but I'll just continue to say it until who knows when. Even from a topological perspective, it makes more sense to organize human societies by means of no organization, no governments, by means of anarchism, because at least anarchists share the same structures and dynamics of human social systems. So they are probably shaped as complex networks, if hypothetically. Those networks would probably be formed by dynamics of preferential attachment. They are open, decentralized, they are based on self-organized interactions, and this is everything that characterizes human social systems when they are not artificially being constrained by an oppressive, centralized, or authoritative artificial government. So I think that as researchers, we should find other alternative nodal arrangements to organize human societies rather than the three topologies we have that have proven not to work in 2,500 years. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that we have such a violent world because, politically speaking, if we have only one way by means of which legitimating or making valid a decision or a law, a regulation, by means of which organizing human social systems, it is obvious that groups or individuals who are not part of that group are going to make everything in their hands, even by means of violence, to have a role in decision making, to have more direct action. So fortunately nowadays we have the technologies already to have direct participation in political decision making without having to resort even to representatives. So this is what this vlog is going to be about. I'm going to talk about my research, which is what I've just mentioned, with the added component of how can internet-based technologies, all the way from open source to the Internet of Things in the far future, help us organize better our human social systems without centralized control. So if you're interested in the subject, just stay tuned and feel free to comment. Bye.